I'm going to be showing you today how to turn a 223 into a 300 Blackout. The first step of this is that we're going to take a 223 casing and cut it right at the neck. It doesn't have to be precise because you're going to cut it down. You're going to use a shell trimmer on it to get the exact length later. The next thing that you want to do is install your depriming and resizing tool, and you're going to bring it down until it touches your shell holder, which is already installed right here, and bring it down until it touches. Drop the lever, give it another 1/8 of a turn, bring it back up, put a little tension on the handle, and then tighten down the nut. The next thing that you're going to do is take a little resizing lube, just a little bit, put it on the casing, make sure it's well coated, install it in the shell holder, and bring it up until it touches. And that's what you have. Now the shell trimmer has already been set to the correct length, which is 1.368 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, lock it in. It's going to take off quite a bit of material. Just depends on exactly how much you cut off when you're cutting the 223 down. Alright, it's not taking off any more material. And 1.367. Close enough. Now after you've cut down your shell, you're going to notice that there's a lip around this thing because it's taken off so much brass. So you're going to need to take a deburring chamfering tool. Make sure you get all that extra brass off of there. Alright, make sure it's nice and smooth. And deburr the inside. Doesn't take a whole lot. I like to take the deburring side of this thing and actually get down in the primer pocket just a little bit, because there's a little lip, kind of a sharp lip. It makes it difficult to install the primer, so I just maybe hit it a couple times, just enough to knock that off, and then we'll take the primer pocket cleaner and clean down in there. And you're going to want to make sure your flash hole's clear, which it is. Now this is a completely prepped piece of 300 Blackout brass. It's been cleaned, deburred, deprimed, resized, and it's ready to get a primer in it. You can use several different primers. I've used Federal 205s, and I've also used CCI number 450 Magnum small rifle primers. There's several other types that you can use. CCI number 41s, Remington 7.5s. Priming this is pretty simple. We have a CCI number 450 primer. Just a little guy right here. We're going to put him inside the priming tool and put the shell in the shell holder, and we just kind of push it down until it seats it. And you have a primed 300 brass. You can use several different types of powder in the 300 Blackout. I choose to use Ogden's H110 powder. It's a Magnum pistol powder and works really well for the 150 grains, and I've also used it up to 220 grain bullets and never had any problems with it. I run a standard weight buffer and a carbine length gas tube on my Blackout. It's one that I built myself, and I just haven't had any problems with it. You'll notice with the Blackouts they have a reduced case length, and that's why the Magnum pistol powders work better. For these loads I'm going to be loading 150 grain SST Hornady bullet. So we're going to use a 1cc Lee dipper flush to the top with Ogden's H110 powder. And this meters out pretty well, so we're just going to fill it up to the top. The next thing I'm going to do is take my casing. I'm going to put it in the shell holder. I'm going to run it all the way to the top. And I'm going to bring my bullet seating die down until it makes contact. And I like to put it about another 1/8 of a turn in. And before I lock this nut down, just to give it a little bit of a crimp. And then we're going to back this portion of it out, drop our bullet in, and then see where it is. We're quite a bit short, as you can see. We want it to be kind of halfway down on this knurled portion of the bullet. So we're going to put it back in. We're going to run this down just a little bit more. Try it again. Again. More. Now we're getting pretty close, so we make smaller adjustments. We're getting real close now. And that is right about halfway. And there it is. This is the finished product. The 300 Blackout's a great round. It has similar ballistics to a 7.62 by 39, fired out of an AR platform, and the only thing that changes between the 223 and the 300 Blackout, if you're going to build your own, is the barrel. It's an easy build. I highly recommend it.